Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with some Power Rangers toy news, Cosmic Fury, and Lightning collection. If anything else comes out while I'm recording this or while I'm editing it, I will probably cover it tomorrow or include the pictures, but as of right now, we'll be covering our first look at the physical toy for the Cosmic Fury Megazord, as well as our first look and more news about the Omega Ranger Lightning figures. So let's talk about the Cosmic Fury Megazord stuff first, because I feel like that's what most people are going to want to talk about. So a little while ago, we got a picture at the box art for it, which looked pretty awesome, as per usual. You know, the box art on these has been pretty good, but now we have a few more pictures, including a production shot, as well as the back of the box that advertises the Zord link and all the possibilities and stuff like that. So yeah, we have our first shot. It's a little bit blurry as of this recording. You know, there might be more clear pictures by the time I upload it. You know, I'll have maybe higher res images later on. I mean, eventually we obviously will when the listings pop up, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it doesn't look great. My first thought was exactly that. My first thought was, it doesn't look great. My second thought was, oh, the entitled fan comments are going to be out of control. But this does warrant criticism, but I feel fans will, as usual, take it too far. It looks like really dulled. Like, it looks like the life is being sucked out of it, like especially yellow and green. Like, it looks really dull. I want to almost say it looks more like later Bandai of America, but even then I don't think Bandai deserves that, because I still stand by their main Megazords from the Neo Saban era, really through 2010 through Ninja Steel, being fairly solid for the price. I feel like people were needlessly harsh on those, again, for like a half to a third of the price, if not more, of the Sentai Mecha, depending on which one you were getting. For like 25, 30 bucks, those were pretty solid looking, honestly. Like, usually, you know, they didn't feel as high a quality, of course, as the Japanese versions, and usually the individual modes of certain ones would suffer more. But for the most part, for a put-together Megazord for 25 bucks, those were solid, especially for people that were either on a budget or wanted to save money to put it elsewhere in their collection. I stand by those. You know, the quality was varying. There we go. And you know, I think overall, Ninja Steel kind of went on a downward spiral. I think they kind of hit their peak at Dino Charge, and then as we hit Ninja Steel, it felt like there was almost like an apathy. Even then, I think that, like, I'll try to look up some images and put them up on screen, but I feel like the Ninja Steel Megazord and stuff even looked better. And you know, to be fair, I haven't seen this in person yet. It's just a production shot. Maybe it'll look better and feel better in person. But I'm not doing this to rag on Hasbro, because I think that's a really boring take to have. But I'm just saying, it reminds me more of that quality, but like a little bit lesser in terms of just the general look of it, because it does look quite dull, to be honest. And you'll notice, too, that the KyurenOh orbs are like glossy, like shiny painted over rather than see-through. You know, because you have like the see-through ones for the gimmick, because the Japanese ones would have the gimmick where you twirl it around, and obviously we're not using the gimmick. And also, it definitely seems like this version is not going to have the articulation, as more articulated Zords has kind of been one of Hasbro's new selling points ever since Beast Morphers. It seems like we're going to be doing away with that. I don't know like exactly what the reasoning is behind that. I could speculate a combination of I'm not sure how well they sold. Maybe this will be cheaper. Who knows? If it's the same price, I can't imagine. Maybe, I don't know, probably something to do with cost, but I'm not sure how well they did. I can say, and I don't know if this has to do with them not selling, but I will give them props for, I've seen the Megazords more regularly available on shelves. Like, I was just at my local Target and Walmart quasi-recently, and I still saw some Megazords on shelves compared to Beast Morphers, where like it was like blink and you missed it. You had to get them online. So there has been more in stock, but I'm not sure how they sold. So I'm not sure if it has anything to do with cost cutting, or maybe it's just because Cosmic Fury is kind of a rush job. You know, I get the vibe from the stuff we've seen so far. I mean, the playset was fine. I just reviewed the playset. It was overall fine. Same quality as the Dino Fury one. You know, I wasn't expecting anything too huge out of that, but it didn't feel like a garbage toy. It felt like exactly what you were, you know, getting. But just based on the way the Morpher looks, and to be fair, from the look we got at the Morpher functionality looks fun. But from the way the Morpher looks and the way this looks, it feels like, you know, much like the show feels, it feels like kind of last minute. You know, they wanted to get something out there, so I feel like that might have something to do with it. It makes me really curious what the reboot toys will look like. You know, maybe different, since it's going to be a slightly different, like, target audience. I mean, they're still going to, I think, you know, have a younger age range, but I think it's going to be a little bit different, and it makes me curious what it would look like. Because one of the common complaints is, like, you know, Hasbro's the Transformers company. How are they doing so bad? And, you know, to be honest, their history with the Megazord so far has been a little bit all over the place. I feel that they mostly were going up, though, in my opinion. Like, I think the Beast Morpher Zords, sculpt-wise, looked pretty good. Like, they looked more accurate sculpt-wise to the show suits than the Go Busters ones. But they didn't feel the best. And, you know, when you got in the bigger combos, mine had a tendency to fall over. I thought Dino Charge, or Dino Fury, was a step up, though. You know, there was some problems with some people having breakage and stuff. I even had one leg break on my green Zord, but that was more my fault than anything. But for the most part, it didn't feel like the highest of quality, but it didn't feel very, very cheap to me. And it didn't feel as cheap as the Beast Morphers ones could. And those overall were pretty solid. I didn't have any loose problems or anything like that. I actually prefer those to my Ryusoulger ones in terms of they look like the show suits. I mean, they're not perfect by any means, but I really enjoyed the Dino Fury Zord line, and I thought that was, a sign they were stepping up from, Beast Morphers was kind of a move in the right direction, like, oh hey, a little more accurate looking, articulated, kinks to work out, improvements with Dino Fury, and now we're kind of going back to the non-articulated, kind of dull looking, which is disappointing to me. Maybe it's a little more difficult to make the KyurenOh articulated because of the way it's done. Maybe they just wanted to cut costs. I don't know. I'm definitely a little bit disappointed. I'm curious to see what other ones we end up using in the series, both in terms of the show and the toys. Like if we're going to use the Core 4, are we just going to use one other one? And even no matter how many we use in the show, are we going to see all the toys? I can't really fully judge it until I see it in person in terms of recommendation, but if you're worried about or wanting to get all the Kyuranger mecha, I would maybe consider looking at the Kyuranger mecha. Not because this is so bad, the Sentai's superior, but because odds are, regardless of what happens, there's like a 95% chance we won't get everything, for Kyuranger especially, but we'll have to see. But yeah, this is disappointing. Also, according to Legion of Boom, we might see, and just a rumor right now, we might see some figures for, I believe it was Amelia, Zato, and one other one. I can't remember whether it was Javi or Ion, but one other one by November, December. I still feel like we're going to get basic figures at some point. There's been rumors we won't. Who knows if that's true? I just can't imagine we wouldn't, because I feel like they're fairly easy to do, since you can repurpose the Dino Fury helmets, which maybe was part of the reason they kept them around. I don't know, but I do hope we get basic figures. I get a feeling that the basic figures might be the better looking thing, because people like to act like everything Hasbro has done has been bad in regards to the main line. It's been hit and miss, but there's been strong points. Like, I think the Megazords have been good. They've been a little glitchy, but the main Morphers have been mostly good. And I think the basic figures for the price point have been solid, so I hope we get that, but curious to see what we get next. But, not up to the greatest start for this. Definitely a disappointing first look here at our Cosmic Fury Megazord. We'll see, though. I'll keep you guys posted as we get possibly more looks at it and as toys roll out, and of course I will cover the review and compare it to KyurenOh and stuff like that. But to end on a more positive note, for me at least, I was actually getting ready to make this video about this topic solely, and then I happened to check my Twitter feed and the Cosmic Fury stuff came up, so I'm glad I did. But we got our first look at the Lightning Collection Omega Ranger pack. Picture of the box art of the Core 4, using the Core 4 a lot in this. Of course, it's not the true, real, best Core 4 from Scream 6, but the Core 4 Omega Rangers, really awesome box art as usual, and then just a first picture, a little bit of a blurry one, of the Core 4 Rangers there with red, black, blue, and yellow, and I am super stoked for this. I love the Omegas. The Omegas have been at the top of my list in regards to the Lightning Collection overall, but especially comics, as the designs have become more and more my favorite. They're some of my favorite things in the comics, so I'm super excited about that, as they represent my 3 favorite versions of the Jason, Zack, and Trini characters, as well as one of my favorite comic characters, Kia, and I certainly hope that this down the road leads to the release of hopefully Yale and the Death Ranger. I don't know if maybe they'd do like a 3-pack, because Death Ranger feels like he's a little bulkier than Gold Ranger, but I could see them also doing like a 2-pack with Yale, and then like maybe a Gold Ranger, Death Ranger, like dual pack with the double heads or something like that. There is also that really sick looking Omega Death Ranger. I don't know if they'll do that, but I'd like to see those. At least I'd like to see Death Ranger and maybe Yale. That would be an interesting one, because they'd have to do a full-on like animal mold for Yale. But yeah, that's at the top of my list, and I'm excited for that. Lightning Collection excitement has been not that high for most things for the most part, but I'm excited for these because it's something that I've been super stoked for. I know a lot of people will get mad when they do the comic stuff, but for me that's the top of my list, because I've already owned or seen at least 2 versions of all the other Rangers from the seasons we've already got, and this is brand new stuff. Like, this isn't, when we get like, oh, it's another Ninja Storm Wild Force, it's like, whatever. This is like way more exciting to me because I don't own any figures of this ever. Whereas with the other ones, I own at least one version or have seen multiple versions, and there's so many other chances to get your hands on figures for those. And this is like literally our first chance of ever getting our hands on Omega Ranger figures, which is super exciting. So I'm stoked about this. It'll probably be up for pre-order soon. A little bit more exciting, better news coming off the Cosmic Fury one. But that's about it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Cosmic Fury Megazord and the Omega Ranger pack, and I will continue to keep you guys posted. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.